Next, I want to introduce President Jared Cohen. Jerry has been our president for 15 years now. He's in a hurry to take the mic. No, he's not. I tell you, at Carnegie Mellon, we always believed we could fly, but I think under Jerry's leadership during the past 15 years, that belief has come true, and we've been flying. In fact, under his leadership, we've been soaring, and he's taken us to not only new heights in every which way, but made us fly into locations that we would have never imagined. So he's been a great proponent of our international strategy, a great proponent of education across the board, research excellence, and I cannot say enough about what Jerry has done. Jerry was also, even though not recognized out here, one of the founders. He was a president when this campus was a dream in Dwayne and Raj's eyes and Jim's eyes, and Jerry was the one who made this dream come true for them. He's been a great supporter of this campus. He'll continue to be so. With that said, President Cohen.
Thank you very much, Pradeep. The metaphor of flying is a good one, an apt one, standing here on the NASA Ames campus. In fact, I often refer to my role, the way I perceive myself vis-a-vis Carnegie Mellon, as someone strapped to a rocket ship, holding on for dear life as this university just keeps soaring on the fabulous trajectory on which it's been on. Thank you all for being here on what is a very important occasion, not just for this campus, but for Carnegie Mellon University. I want to thank Assemblymember Fong, Mayor Kasperzak, Mayor Spitaleri, Associate Director Feng, not only for being here, but for this tremendous support we received from NASA, from the cities in which we operate, from the state of California. It's really been notable. I mean, the letters also from the members of Congress are another example of that. Whenever I've interacted with institutions, government organizations, and especially NASA, personally, it's been notable how warm the welcome has been. We've been very grateful for that, and we hope we've been a good partner in return. I want to recognize members of our Board of Trustees, Frank, who was up here, Roy Shanker, also a member of the board. Thank you very much for coming, Roy. We really appreciate your presence. So let me give you the real history of the Carnegie Mellon campus in Silicon Valley. Jim Morris was dean of the School of Computer Science, and on one of his many trips out here, which for him was returning home in a way, given his long history here, he came back and he said, "Jerry, wouldn't it be a great idea to have a Carnegie Mellon club, because we have so many alumni here in the Valley?" I said, "Gee, Jim, that does sound intriguing. Maybe you could pursue that further on your next trip out." Well, a few weeks went by and he took another trip and he came back and said, "Forget the club, let's have a campus." And well, the rest is history, as they say. I think he mentioned it to Raj. I'm not sure who the real ringleader was, whether it was Raj putting Jim up to it or Jim getting Raj to embrace it, but among Jim, Raj, and Dwayne, there was no way for this not to happen, and indeed it did. I want to underscore Mark's comments about what an extraordinary job Pradeep has done since he's been responsible for the campus, taking it from its startup stage to now, I don't know what we would call it, but established stage, let's put it that way, because it's surely not done growing. He's been a wonderful leader. We're very grateful for what he's done. If you don't know, I want you to know that on August 1st, Pradeep will become Chancellor of the University of California at San Diego, which is a great thing for California. I think it's a good thing for Pradeep. Did I tell you about the California budget these days? But it's surely a bad thing for Carnegie Mellon University. Pradeep has been a tremendous leader in every role he's played over a 30-year period at Carnegie Mellon. It's a tremendous loss, but we wish Pradeep very well. And I want to second what Mark said about Martin's leadership. Martin Briss has been a tremendous director for this campus. We've seen great growth under his leadership. and we couldn't be happier. So to all of those who have supported us, to the founders who made this possible, I say thank you on behalf of the entire university. So I told you the real story about the founding. Mark and Pradeep have both made comments about sort of indications of success. I only had one indicator of success, and we achieved that a few years ago, when I said, when we get a sign on 101 that says Carnegie Mellon University, we know we will have made it. Because John Hennessy will have to drive by that sign every day on his way to work and back home. Actually, the first time I saw that, it was a thrill. I don't know if we have you to thank, Assembly Member, or DOT, or the mayors, whoever did it, thank you very much. And I noticed we even have another sign now as you get off the ramp to make sure it's terrific. Actually, joking about Stanford, in fact, Stanford has been a great partner also. They've been quite supportive of our being here. Of course, we've been very careful to choose areas that don't really overlap what they're doing mostly. And I think we've coexisted very well, though I do like the fact that they see that sign every day. Now, Mayor Kasperzak was very perceptive when he said Carnegie Mellon did the right thing by coming to Silicon Valley. Truly, this is the center of innovation of the world. There's no question about it. Every city, every region craves to be like Silicon Valley. Every region discovers at some point along the way they'll never be Silicon Valley. We discovered that a long time ago. But that hasn't stopped us, and today Pittsburgh is a thriving technology center linked in very important ways to Silicon Valley. And picking up on Mark's excellent point about how the present, and even more so the future, is about networking in a collaborative mode in a way that benefits everybody. That's the way we've approached this campus. It's the way we've approached all of our global campuses. There's another element to this. While we know Pittsburgh will not be Silicon Valley, we are here in Silicon Valley, and we not only want to contribute to Silicon Valley, as we surely have with the hundreds of students we graduated, with the research we do in collaboration with NASA and with the local companies, but we also want to take some of Silicon Valley back with us to Pittsburgh. And in that regard, I'm not sure any of you, unless you were on campus last week, can fully appreciate how far Carnegie Mellon and Pittsburgh have come in the last decade or so in terms of creating an innovation culture, an innovation ecosystem that even you all in the Valley would, I think, be impressed by. We have what we consider to be the best technology commercialization policy that any university can have. We call it 5% and go in peace, and it's exactly what it sounds like. A faculty member invents something, says, I want to start a company. They show up at our tech transfer office. What used to take months of negotiation now takes days or hours. We say, great, sign here, give us 5% and go in peace. And now, we've gone from spinning off about 5 companies a year to about 20 companies a year. Carnegie Mellon is now second in the country in the number of companies created per dollar of sponsored research, and first among universities without medical schools. And Stanford, by the way, is not number one. You'll never guess who number one is. It's a trivia question, but I'll tell you, it's Utah, University of Utah, which actually is a great bed of innovation. Anyhow, this shows you how far we've come in quite a few years, and we're doing more. Another Valley person, Jonathan Kaplan, a Carnegie Mellon alum, the founder of Flip Video, which was acquired by Cisco. You all know what happened after that. But Jonathan created a new fund at Carnegie Mellon. We call it the Open Field Entrepreneurship Fund, and it's specifically for alumni who graduated in the last 5 years. Anybody who fits that criterion can apply for a very significant grant of about $50,000 to support their new company. We'll be announcing the first recipients in 10 days, and this will just simply add to the vibrancy of the innovation ecosystem that we have now in Pittsburgh and at Carnegie Mellon. So, it's not just being in the Valley and wanting to contribute, it's also wanting to take the best of what the Valley has and in our own way and on our own scale, bringing that to Pittsburgh. And then leveraging all of this in the networked approach that Mark talked about. Let me conclude by saying a little bit about the future. We are now a very global university. When Carnegie Mellon Silicon Valley started, we were operating in one country, assuming you count California as part of the United States. And now we operate in 20, with actual campuses in Qatar in the Middle East, in Australia, one that's opening this fall in Rwanda in Africa, and with major programs in China, Portugal, and many other countries. We are still figuring out what it means to be a global university. But one thing we are certain of is that by having all of these significant nodes on the Carnegie Mellon network, we can leverage them to the benefit of all, including here in Silicon Valley. We're very proud of what we've achieved here. I thank all of those who have made it possible, and we are very enthusiastic and optimistic about the future. Thank you very much.